We all love art, and for me, especially dark and abstract pieces. And these beautiful pieces of art that I'm showing you right now were all created by AI. None of those images were created by a human. They are AI-generated artwork based off of text prompts using something called Midjourney, which is software that allows you to imagine just about anything and realize it into a piece of art with beautiful colors, lighting, and composition. But let's go back. I just learned about this a few weeks ago. I was aware and tried some AI art generators in the past, but it was always so limited and didn't have the best results. But then I started seeing pieces from my friends Olaf Bloomerus and Ryan Booth, and I had to dive in for myself. And getting in isn't easy. You can sign up for the beta, but there's a hell of a long wait list there. But thankfully, I was hooked up by another friend, Quincy Ledbetter, who is also a director and has a feature film called Elude the Dreamer, which you should definitely check out, link in the notes below. But he hooked me up with an invite to the Discord, which is where all of this goes through. And when you get in there, there are different channels, people posting prompts and receiving images all together, and it's free, but chaos. So I typed /subscribe, and that lets you get the paid subscription, which for me is worth it since you can then DM the bot and have all of your stuff in its own channel. Now, it doesn't hide the images that you create, those still show up in galleries, but at least you aren't dealing with the chaos of a million images. But now I can submit a prompt, and to do that, I'll type /imagine and then whatever I want the AI to create, like a haunted house at night in the style of a 1970s horror film. You can also control the aspect ratio by typing --AR, then the ratio you want, like 16:9 or 9:16. Then you hit enter and it does its thing and brings back 4 options from that prompt. But before we go on further, let's back up again. How is this actually working? Admittedly, I'm no expert here, but from what I understand, the system utilizes a deep learning algorithm that has a massive training set of images. These are images with text descriptions, so the system then finds variables that familiarizes it with the translations of the words to the pictures. So when you put in your prompt, the system translates that prompt and generates a picture based off of what it has learned from that massive data set, which is a massively oversimplistic explanation. But the main thing I'm pointing out here is that Midjourney isn't taking images that exist already and then morphing them into something new, remixing them. It is taking your prompt and creating completely new art based off of that massive data set it has learned from. So now we can add in our prompt, and in minutes we get back original artworks, which is insane. And the results you get are all about the prompts that you use. So say we want a horror vibe, maybe a bus stop at night. I'll try /imagine bus stop at night, horror style, and if I want it more cinematic, I can add that cinematic, atmospheric, shot on film, and the aspect ratio I want. Now I get kicked back those 4 starter images, and now I have options on what I want to do with them with these buttons below. U stands for upscale, and the number is the corresponding frame. V is to create another version of that specific frame, so you're iterating in that direction. And this button here does an all new generation of the prompt. Since as you see here, if I type in the exact same prompt, I may get something similar, but I'll never get the exact same thing. I haven't been able to figure out how much the order you put things in actually matters since it changes each time regardless, but a part of the fun here is trying different prompts in different ways to land on what you're setting out for. And we can get more specific by naming artists to land in their specific style or things, people, places, like I could do a train station at night filled with ghosts, Guillermo del Toro movie, cinematic, hyper-realistic, concept art, and my aspect ratio and get back something like this. Or we can mix and match things, like I posted to my Instagram a few days ago a xenomorph in the style of Pixar. Or we can go the opposite direction and be obscured just to see what Midjourney translates, like a void of insanity or hopeful horizon. Or get crazy and try something like Nicolas Cage riding a unicorn. And once you have those choices, you can shift your prompts or iterate off of those images heading towards something you're happy with. And then we could just stare at the one we like with appropriate music. Which is music I got from today's sponsor, MusicBed, and MusicBed has been one of our main sources of music for over 7 years now, and that's everything from a weekly episode to short films. And they have all kinds of talented artists and musicians who are passionate about their work, and they curate a roster of over 1,000 authentic and relevant artists. Artists that I listen to just because, like Cody Fry or the incredible Chad Lawson. I basically listen to his music on repeat while writing There Comes a Knocking. And finding music is incredibly easy too with their browse and search tools built with filmmakers in mind. Use anything from genre, mood, to advanced filters like BPM, and they have a great list of curated playlists from filmmakers like myself. You can find a link to mine in the notes below. Then if you still need help finding what you need, their team can help with complimentary song searches. So check out the link in our description for more info and use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout to get 1 month free when you purchase an annual subscription.
This just in. A mild inconvenience has struck Hollywood, Texas. A mostly unknown member of Film Riot, known as Josh Conley, has, due to its contagious nature, become a little bitch.
You know, I expected this from Ryan, of course, but from Josh, I also expected this because he is a little bitch.
Josh Connolly? I don't know who that is. Oh, I remember that guy. He's a little bitch.
Other eyewitnesses reported confusion or generally not giving a shit. For more, let's go live to Justin Robinson in Hollywood, Texas.
I'm here at Josh's office at Triune Films, but there's just one problem. He's not here. Doctors broke the news to me this morning that being a little bitch is highly contagious, and he caught a severe case. What's this mean for this week's episode? Jack shit. For Channel STFU News, I'm Justin Robinson.
Where was I? Oh yes. You could even do things like action movie poster for a film called Die Hard, or your own custom movie poster. Then just add descriptors in to adjust the style to your liking, like adding the name of an artist, sci-fi movie poster in the style of Drew Struzan, and we get this, or mystery thriller movie poster in the style of Saul Bass, and we have this. But again, it's not art created by an artist, it's art that is being interpreted by AI, and I honestly am not entirely sure how I feel about it just yet. It's also worth noting the terms of use here. Everything you create through Midjourney is owned by Midjourney. Then you are free to use the images however you want unless you're using them for a company that makes more than $1 million in revenue a year. Then you need to buy the $600 a year corporate plan, or if you use it on blockchain like selling an NFT, you'll need to pay 20% in royalties on anything over $20,000 a month in revenue. Which all of that is more than reasonable in my book, since again, you aren't making this art, their AI is. But that point of not owning the art is a big one for me. It's understandable given what it is, but that does limit how I would want to use it. So how am I using it? So far, what is exciting me the most about this is leveraging it for inspiration and for assets when pitching my films. I've been able to create a lot of art that nails the tone and in some cases design of what I'm trying to pitch. Before, I was just finding what I could online, photoshopping things and so on, but now I can get more specific and make things that didn't exist. Then on the inspiration side, it's been fun to iterate and try things to see where one thought will lead. I've already come up with a new feature concept that I'm building out thanks to this process. But is this real art? A lot of the pieces that I made, I would legitimately hang on my wall, and some prompts have landed directly on the look and feel I was after. I mean, everything we make normally is a translation of what we see and experience as humans, and with the right prompts, you can elicit the right translation from AI. It's really like directing. When you direct a film, you don't light it, you don't act it, but you prompt your creatives in a direction so that they can interpret and return a translation of the emotion you want to paint. However, those are actual humans that are translating humanity. I can give minute details to an actual artist and get their proper nuanced results. For me, true art is made of emotional experience, not just the interpretation of viewed experience. So there is a hollowness to this for me. It's missing the specificity of human decision making, but maybe it's just because it's new to me. Either way, it's a great starter. On the norm, we don't have the budget to get proper artists to be toying around on basic concepts concept stuff in the beginning, but if you are going to stay somewhat abstract and concept-based, this is pretty nuts and useful. But eventually I would want to take this out to an actual artist, use it as an idea starter, and then get human hands on it to build it from there. But what do you think? Is this exciting, scary, something else entirely? One thing is for sure, this is just the beginning. I can only imagine how advanced this is going to be in just a couple more years and how this sort of thing will branch out to all aspects of our industry. But like I said before, getting in Midjourney is crazy hard. You really just need an invite from somebody who's already in it, and we do have one more to give out. We'll pick one person who comments on this episode, so hit us up with a comment below and we'll pick someone at random in the next few days. But that's it for today. As always, if you're not subscribed, consider doing that and hit the bell to be notified when we put up more content. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.